Hey, this is JT. Welcome to Bodyweight Strength. In this video, what we're going to do is continue our rings progressions by working on ring dips. Before you get into performing ring dips, I believe that it's important to have a solid support position or support hold on rings. And the reason for that is to make sure that you have a base level of strength and stability built up before you get into dynamic pressing movements on rings. And this is just going to help make sure that you don't get injured. The thing to remember with support position is that it is adequate to stimulate strength adaptations and hypertrophy. So while you're working on your support hold, don't be in a rush to get into doing ring dips if your support hold's not solid. In your support hold, I suggest you get a good solid 30-second hold. And remember, in support hold, you can start with rings neutral, and then you can also externally rotate and turn the rings out to make the movement more difficult. And you can transition that same principle to the rings when you're performing your ring dips. The other thing for your ring dips to remember is that one of the limiting factors for people is not so much pressing strength, but it's going to be shoulder extension. And so when you do a ring dip, what you're trying to do is pull your hand up into the armpit, elbow way back, almost like you're doing a row with a dumbbell. And the reason that you're trying to get that hand way up into the pocket there is because when you eventually get into doing muscle ups on rings, assuming that's something you want to do, if you do eventually get into wanting to do muscle ups on rings, what usually prevents people from making the transition from the pull-up portion to the dip portion is shoulder mobility and not being able to get the hands pulled back up into the pocket. So when you are performing your ring dips, what you want to work on is working on increasing your range of motion by each time that you get on the rings, digging in just a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, going through your full range of motion to whatever your end range of motion is, and then sinking in just a little bit deeper week after week. That means you want nice slow reps, okay? When you're performing ring dips, you don't want to stop when you start to get to your end range of motion and then just bounce out of it. You don't want to do these for speed, just like anything else, slow and controlled. Pull your arm back up, just like you're rowing a dumbbell, right back up into that pocket, and you'll feel a good stretch. And as you get more mobile, as you start to be able to move into shoulder extension better, which is, you know, the shoulder basically pulling the hand back behind the body, as you start to be able to get into that position better and better, what you'll find is the dips will become easier and easier, less of a stretch there throughout the anterior deltoid and the pec. And so that's what you want to work on with your ring dips. You want to work on that mobility. It's really important down the road if you want to get into being able to actually perform ring muscle ups. Now, without further delay, let's get to it. Okay, you can see that I've got my rings adjusted to where if I bring my hands in, they're right up under my armpits, even with my pecs. That's that pocket I talked about where you want to get your hands to. So I'm going to start out in support position. I'm going to get on my tiptoes, and then I'm going to push myself up in a dip to the support position. So you will start here. You want to have your eyes forward, head up, and you want to be in a stable support position. And when you dip, you're bringing elbows back. And then press down along the side of the body, head up, elbows back. Neutral grip on the rings. I want to give you a side view so that you can see pulling the arms back up into that pocket and also keeping your eyes and head straight forward as you push throughout the full range of motion in your ring dips. So you want to get up into the start position or the support position, eyes straight forward, lower yourself down, hands back in the pocket, down, and another rep. It's a pretty straightforward movement, but I just wanted to stress that it's, like I mentioned, a row back up into the pocket. You're not going to have elbows out at 45 degrees. You want to keep them tucked in, tight against the body, fairly tight against the body. I tend to be about 6 inches away from my hips. Some people are even closer. That's fine. Again, you just don't want to have your hands too far out to the side. We will get into wide ring dips or Bulgarian ring dips. Those will be a wider placement. They place more stress on the pecs, more stress on the musculature, the connective tissue. So you want to work with standard ring dips for a while before you scale to those wide ring dips. And that's why we're not going to do them now. And that's why you want to keep your hands in closer to the side, within 6 inches or so of your sides. So work on the ring dips, and in the next video I will get to those wide ring dips. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe so you don't miss any content. Click the notification bell so that when I do post new content you get notified. And thank you for supporting Bodyweight Strength.